On the Senate Finance Committee. Joining us now, the new Finance Committee Chairman, Iowa Senator Charles Grassley. Congratulations on that. And I know it's something you wanted, but you are giving up some other things. Did anything really go on in judiciary recently? I wasn't around. Did you notice anything? Did I miss anything that happened when you were chairman of that committee, Senator?
Well, I think you sure did if you don't know about 2 Supreme Court justices and criminal justice reform. But let me give you a big view of it, because it's not so negative when you talk just about judges. We in 4 years, got 61 bipartisan bills out of committee, 45 bipartisan bills passed the Senate, about 34 bipartisan bills were signed by either Obama or Trump.
Wow. You going to miss it at all? And I'm, we all wish Justice Ginsburg as much, good health as we possibly can. But, nobody lives forever. And I'm just, I don't know what's going to happen next time after that last one, Senator. I really don't.
Yeah, well, I think that you're going to, I was asked this yesterday, so let me give you the same answer. I expect things will be back to normal, at least as far as legislation is concerned. As far as Supreme Court and District Court and Circuit Court judges, I believe that there's a real effort on the part of the Democrats just to shut down the whole filling the judge slots that we have. And I think it's very anti-Trump, but that's the way they're going to play it. Our goal has to be to make sure that the judicial branch of government is functioning as efficiently and productively as it can, and that means that when you have 10% vacancies in the judicial branch, we ought to be doing everything we can to fill them.
What about the shutdown? I know we want to talk about what your goals are at finance, but how does this? I don't know why you would know any more than the rest of us, Senator, but I need to ask you, how does this finally get resolved in your view?
Right now, I don't see any path to review, because the president over the weekend or maybe Monday puts a detailed plan of how he would spend the money on the table. And quite frankly, as you would expect, they expected Pelosi and Schumer to come back with a counteroffer, and they didn't come back with a counteroffer. And so it's at a standstill. The president is threatening emergency action, national emergency declaration. I don't think he should do that. I think it's a bad precedent, and it contravenes the power of the purse that comes from the elected representatives of the people. But I believe that he is threatening it. But I don't understand why there can't be a compromise here from this standpoint. Look, we've already decided in March $1 6/10 billion for border security. The president thinks he wants close to $6 billion. So normally you split the difference on almost any appropriation bill, difference between the House and Senate. The other thing is, we have so many senators and a lot of House members that have already supported 650 miles of fence. Then you also have Republicans supporting something that Democrats want, to do something about the DACA kids. So it seems to me like there's plenty of opportunity here to compromise. But if Pelosi wants to be just very anti-Trump and respond to her caucus in a way that shuts down government, I don't know what you can do about it. But you got to negotiate is the bottom line.
Senator Grassley, I hear what you say about negotiation and trying to find some sort of a compromise. But if the president does go ahead and declare a national emergency, as you've said you're opposed to, you're the second Republican senator in 2 days who said on this program that they are not in favor of that. Marco Rubio said the same thing to us earlier yesterday or the day before. What would you do if he does declare a state of emergency? You seem to think that's an overreach of presidential power.
I believe that you're going to find it in the courts almost immediately, and the courts are going to make a decision. And if it does go to the courts, I don't know the procedure how quickly it can get to the Supreme Court. But if the Supreme Court has the capability of foreclosing lower courts operating on it and getting it to the Supreme Court, I think the sooner you get the decision, the better.
You've got a lot. You know what? I don't know whether you're going out of the frying pan into the fire, or maybe it'll be a little less taxing. I watched you very closely, Senator. That was just something for all Americans, really, to witness. And I think most people on both sides of the aisle were glad you were there. I think it's safe to say that. I don't know. That even that might be saying too much. But okay, now that you're financed, what are we going to do? Do you really think they're going to try to roll back Democrats? I mean, tax reform? Are you in a position to prevent that from happening?
I don't think the Senate is going to do anything to upset tax cuts and tax reform, particularly lowering the corporate tax rate to be competitive with our international competition, and then lowering small business taxes with a 20% above the line deduction you have, so you have some equality between individual taxpayers that are small business people versus corporations. That latter thing, where about 60 or 70% of the people are employed by small business, a recognition of equality with C corporations is surely a legitimate thing that no Democrat would even want to overturn. But we've had such progress, maybe more by less regulatory action than the tax bill, but those two things put together have brought us to economic growth that nobody ever thought we'd ever have before, because at the end of the Obama administration, we were in, quote unquote, a new normal, and we weren't ever going to have growth over 2% again. So consequently, if the Democrats want to upset that, I can't let that happen.
Do you think USMCA is going to become a political football too, or do you expect that to go through easily? And I've been told that you would encourage the president to withdraw from NAFTA if the Democrats don't let that go through.
That was a headline that left out an awful lot of what I said as a condition. That surely I backed up, or I preceded that statement with this: surely no Democrat would want to go back to not having a NAFTA when we have higher tariffs, or Mexico had higher tariffs than we do. It would undo what good NAFTA's done, and then the president wants to come along and improve NAFTA, and he's done it. And if you look at most of the things he's done, it's been to help manufacturing and union interest. So I don't see why there would be not a lot of bipartisan support for this. Let's look at what they've been saying. They said there's not enough in environment, there's not enough for labor, and then they're interested in enforcement. So let's go back to, they surely aren't saying let's go back to the table to renegotiate, because that's a no-brainer. There are certain things we can do within the Congress, like encouraging side letters or certain understandings, quote-unquote understandings, that we can add to it. We can actually amend it under the Trade Promotion Authority legislation, but there's ways we ought to be able to accommodate the concerns Democrats have and get the bipartisanship it takes to get done. And that's going to be my job as chairman of the Finance Committee, because we have jurisdiction over this, to put that team together.
All right, Senator, we appreciate we didn't. Everybody's affected, obviously, or many farmers, as well as we've gone down the list of people with the shutdown. Hopefully, I don't know. Can you say hopefully cooler heads prevail? I don't know how this. There just seems to be no way out. But we appreciate your time this morning, Senator,
Thank you.
And good luck, Chair of the Senate Finance Committee.
Thank you.
Senator.